fate of the universe on the line. I want Iguodala.
Kevin Durant. You know who I am.
Hurry, way downtown. Bang! Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Is this the dagger?
Vaxxers, anti-vaxxers, all of them rich. How to not get political and lose money is the real itch. We try to not talk about Ben, but the name is all casters say, slowly itching towards the 19th. It's the only date and day for the hashtag Ball is Meant to Be a Podcast, your favorite NBA podcast in an Indian accent. We are back at it again with episode 2 of the season. And as always, I'm your co-host, Ashwin. In the association this week, Draymond Green joins LeBron James as the latest in vaccinated people telling the unvaxxed to stick to their guns. The NBA took the tough decision of cutting the pay of non-compliant players, and Westbrook responded to the suggestion of the Clippers the same way he did to letting the 10th rebound go to someone else. Hell no. Speaking of stubborn, I've got with me, as always, someone who always messages last, someone who has lost 10 kilos between seasons, and someone who still believes in the D Rose magic. My co-host, Vineet Devaya. Vineet, welcome back. Episode 2.
Episode 2, my friend.
Blurred background. Both of us.
Blurred background. Yes.
Which means that we are getting closer to a brand identity, which is what they call it in NBA.
Yes, is that what they call it?
Yeah, I think so. Brand identity.
It's useful just because I'm a little bit of a privacy kind of guy. So unless it's your house, which it's not, so it's better to keep it.
I'm in between cities, and we tried recording yesterday, and there were.
You are in your sasural. Say the word.
Yeah, I'm in my sasural right now. Sasural. Anyways, yes. I think ESPN did release a list of 25 of their players from after 1996, and I was shocked to find Anthony Davis in it. And then I realized that.
Oh wait, they launched it.
ESPN
they released it,
not NBA. ESPN did. But
ESPN, when?
I don't know, like 2-3 days ago. 4 days.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh shit, I didn't see it.
Okay.
It didn't show up on any of the Instagram accounts.
It did. It was LeBron James, Tim Duncan, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. I mean, that was the top 4, I think. Steph and KD were.
No Kobe in the top 4, huh?
Oh no, Kobe. Yes, Kobe. That's the name I was saying. Damn it.
Oh, okay. I would be very surprised if Kobe was not in the top 4.
Yeah. So LeBron, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Steph, KD. I think one of those formats. And I mean, if you didn't see this, I personally think Steph Curry should be rated above KD forever. I really don't think KD deserves props more than Steph in any case. I mean, he might have been
100%.
100%. Oh, fine.
Yeah, no disagreement there.
It's a sad.
I mean, but it's nothing to do with I think a part of you is also that you're a little bit mad about the OKC thing. I have none of that OKC thing, but I just feel like Steph is Steph won a ring without him. He built the culture, he built the engine. He was the, what you would call as the head of the python. Yes. Is that, or head of the snake or something like that? It's like head of the snake, because the head of the snake is the most important part of the eating process. No, that's what they say, right? Once snakes can it's a very interesting thing. It's a very interesting.
Go for it. I'm all ears.
It's like snakes can eat things that are 10 times bigger than them, right? But the most difficult part is the
first part where they have to get it into the mouth.
Where they have to get it into the mouth. And so that's the reason why this quote is called, and it's generally. So the reason why I was interested in this quote is because I was listening to I don't know where I was listening, and someone said the Spurs are like a python, and they constrict you and kill you, and the head of the python is Tim Duncan. I was like, that's just a really weird analogy. So I started reading about why this analogy came into
I think play. I'm not sure if you're right, but I mean, if any reader is listening, I think they call it you have to kill destroy the head first, because the head is where the the poison and the biting.
No, but that's what I'm saying. So that's why I thought it was funny, because even I thought exactly similar to you, which is like, but then when he used the word that, when he used it in a separate context, which is, the Spurs are like a python, I was like, oh, that's an interesting analogy, because that is true. Like pythons don't really kill you with their venom. And I thought it was interesting because the Spurs are like the python, and against Black Mamba, which is only about the it's got nothing else other than its shooting ability. So I thought it was like a very apt analogy.
So they thought more than we gave them credit for, whoever that person is.
I don't know if they thought that much. I thought that much.
I don't think. I'm not even sure if pythons and the black mambas exist in the same geography.
I probably not. Probably.
We will check it out in post, and then we will have a title which says yes or no. Which is what my new thing is, that like whatever bullshit fake news we do here, during post I will do the research and I'll put a banner.
Was there any fake news that was discovered in the last episode?
It was not fake news. I mean, we did end up on it, but you said that Jason Kidd had the second most assists of all time, and I said I don't think so, but it was true.
It was true. Such disrespect for Jason Kidd, because I remember when we were doing the NBA Walas, when we were on the shout out to the now dead but probably alive without us in it.
It'll be NBA Walas.
Part 2 without ballers.
I won't be surprised. Because I mean, personally, we have done that. Like, we have a friend group, and then suddenly, usually we do it for birthdays. Like, we create a separate WhatsApp group without that person. But sometimes, if somebody says something, like somebody has had a ostracizing from the group, then instead of deleting that group, what we do is we just like, we'll create a separate group now with everyone minus that one person.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, maybe I'm the one who always gets ostracized, but like I'm not I'm not a part of any like old friend group. I mean, I think I'm part of like my school group, but I left that group. I mean, I didn't leave it, but I moved my phones and I left it, and I just never joined it back, and no one invited me back either. So
the most activity happens in the first week, where everybody suddenly realizes, okay, there's a new group, so we need to post our good photos or post this interesting joke or something, and then it completely decays. And then occasionally there'll be something, people will be like, let's do reunion, let's do Zoom meet, blah blah blah, and that's it. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
That's it. Yeah, happy birthday, happy birthday. It's all about birthdays.
I used to be part of a group where they would change the name of the group to the person whose birthday it is.
Oh, that's pretty good.
The name of the group. And I, at that time, I thought it was a pretty lame idea, but in retrospect, like one of the better group decisions that I've seen. Otherwise, it's just happy birthday, everybody. Nobody really cares. I'm part of NBA groups where at least they change the logo.
Oh, you're part of NBA groups.
Yeah. What? You're not.
Thanks for not inviting me there, bro.
I'm not admin or something there.
So what? You can't invite people? I think you can invite people.
You can only request people to requesting and all this too much.
How did you get added to it?
I was part of a different WhatsApp group.
You told me about this. Yeah, you told me about this.
I did.
You told me. Yeah, you told me about this. You told me that you were part of some NBA WhatsApp group. That's where we got our initial first 2-3 guests, no?
Yeah, there only. That one. Yeah. And there was a fight, and then they migrated to this group, and they brought me along with them.
There was a fight about what?
So what happens is sometimes NBA insults get really personal. If you support,
really? Yeah. Oh, I didn't know this. I've never encountered.
But then that is. I guess the NBA preseason basketball is on now. I mean, I'm not gonna watch it. It's going to
start in. When I saw it, it said it will start in 12 hours. So yeah, it has started. Yeah.
So
I was going to say start at 12 hours. Yeah.
As you know, sometimes basketball insults get pretty personal. So what happened is a whole bunch of people started ganging up on the other person because he started abusing in Hindi, and these people didn't like it that being abused in Hindi is like really personal. You get more insulted if you are insulted in Hindi. call you motherfucker or something, you'll be like, okay, it's just a word. And the mother chotan, whoa, that's all.
But they're all South Indians, probably. No?
I don't know about that. I did not go there, but I remember that this one guy started abusing everyone in Hindi because someone was supporting Kobe or someone was supporting something, and this entire thing happened. It's like, oh, how dare you, blah, 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 and then they all left him, and then they moved to this different group, which is the group that I'm part of now.
And that other group is silent, gone.
I don't know. I mean, I left it. I have no idea whether there are people.
Oh, you left it, properly left it.
Yeah. It was like a movement, like Occupy Wall Street sort of movement. No.
Oh my God. People have a lot of time. But actually, we are still a part of NBA Walas. It's just there's no activity. That's all.
Yeah,
I think.
I'm telling you, see, those people were like they were really good friends apart from being on that group. Also, I'm guessing because they have each other's numbers. So I'm pretty sure they must be discussing basketball. It's just that we are not part of it.
Yes. I don't know why we brought up this NBA Walas thing, but
you only brought it up because of something I forgot. We will replay this and find out.
Yes.
During post.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's go.
Okay. Vineet, major problem. It's become a political movement, but started off as just a humanitarian movement. I don't know, like medical.
Oh, we're going vaccine.
We're going vaccine.
Oh, you said you're not going to bring it up, but you are bringing it up.
I didn't say there's nothing else to talk about. But
okay.
I mean, I don't know how it became political. Like, I don't think it's supposed to be political.
Wait, Ashwin, let me ask you this question. because I think
I did
because you were very passionate about you were very passionate about it yesterday. So let me be the question asker this time.
Oh shit, no. Not ready for this.
Because the other thing I've realized is that all our snippets is just me opinionating and you just listening. So I want to make it,
I think that's the whole podcast. It's just me asking.
That's not necessary. That's not the thing. It's like you pick the section because you send me the snippets, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so the vaccination thing, right? So I think my first question to you is, if you were an NBA player, right? Let's say, for example, your name starts with a K.
Okay.
And you play for the Brooklyn Nets. And you're against vaccination.
Okay. I am against vaccination.
You're against vaccination, right? So I'm putting you in a situation where you have to. Would you be okay with giving up the money? Like, would you fight for both? And would you think it is okay to fight for both?
Okay, now this is the assumption that I am already against this vaccination center. I'm there's something wrong. These people are trying to control us, so I'm already a little mentally deranged. But fine.
Not mentally deranged. That's your opinion, and whatever it is.
But okay, fine. I'll be that K guy. In that case, I'll fight for the money. I mean, why would I let go of $180 million or whatever that amount is? Because I mean, if I'm already decided against the vaccine, that means that I have to be okay with, like the repercussions that follow. And I'm not okay with any repercussions which involve me losing hundreds of millions of dollars just because I made a choice which is not going with the popular consensus. Okay, that's not a personal stance, but I'm now just Mr. K.
Mr. K.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty ridiculous, but that I have to lose money because I made a choice depending on which is based on, my studying of a certain topic. I have talked to some experts in the field who have a different opinion, and I don't think I should be punished by having having a clause enacted which was not there when I signed the contract. That's what.
So what would be a perfect situation where you get to play basketball, where you are a part of a winning basketball? Like, how do you see it in your mind?
I think my first thing would be to talk to my teammates and tell them that, this is why I made this decision. I hope you don't feel abandoned by it. This is my personal choice and I have religious reasons for it. I'm just going to say religious reasons so that, nobody asks too many questions, because this generation is really touchy about religious freedom. I'll be like, I have religious problems. I can't take this vaccine. And I hope you understand where I'm coming from. I'll take them out for dinners. I'll be like, Instagram, get them verified. I'll tell them that this is, and it's not really like the Nets need Kyrie Irving to win games. I think, I mean, I don't think they need me to win games.
Okay.
I'll tell them that, it's a personal choice. I will be at every single practice. I'll be at every single stadium where they don't need me to be. Where they need me to be, where they allow non-vaccinated people to be there. I will take the tests. I will make sure that I am isolating myself. I will make sure that I wear the mask. But please leave this vaccination status problem to me, because I'm dealing with it personally. I'm doing my own research. As soon as my research bears fruit that this is safe to take, I will do it.
Okay. That's good. I mean, it sounds like a convincing argument to me.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mr. Brooklyn.
So wait. Now. The reason I say this is because I feel like it's easy to always say, like, look at the other party and kind of think of them as bad and, like, put them in that category. But I think when you do the slight role play, right, then you just kind of understand that, okay, everyone's fucked up in their own ways, So if you were Kevin Durant, what would you say? What would you tell Kevin? Or James Harden? I would say Kevin Durant probably is a little bit more.
Not speakery. Oh, he's gonna say something. I think Kevin Durant will be like, listen, man, I came to Brooklyn only because so that we could team up, and I didn't.
No, you don't have to be Kevin Durant. You don't have to, like, role play as Kevin Durant. But if you are Ashwin but Kevin Durant, you know what I'm saying? Like you are in Kevin Durant's position, but you're not Kevin Durant's mind.
Okay. I'm not Kevin Durant, but I am.
You're not but you're Kevin Durant. Yeah. Imagine, like, you're 7'1", 2-time.
I'll tell him that, see, if it's a personal choice, then go for it, because there is no point in us asking you to play and you don't want to be there. If you constantly feel that your teammates have attacked you, like your teammates have forced your hand, you're not going to be who you are, which is at your best. You are a great scoring guy, a great dribbler. You can set me up, a great one-on-one player, but also
top 5 most skilled player in the NBA ever.
Definitely, I don't know ever not, but definitely very skilled, like one of the best one-on-one players era today. And you can be the that person who nobody's expected to do anything, but then he comes and drops 50 points because you're that good. We don't want you to come back if you feel that we are forcing a hand, because that'll not be the best version of Kyrie Irving we can have. Give yourself some time, do your research, figure out what it is, but understand that we want you to play with us. We're not going to force you, because we don't want to do that. But understand that this is a team and you put us over the limit. You almost make us, like, really, really good, unbeatable. And all of us are invested in this. All of us have.
But are you trying to get him back, or are you like, fuck it, do whatever you want to do?
See, in my opinion, in my personal experience, I think
not personal experience, as Kevin Durant.
No,
as Kevin Durant.
But as I'm taking Ashwin's personal experience and putting it into Kevin Durant, right?
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, in my personal experience, it never bodes well if you use logic in a very personal argument. If the argument is based upon faith and belief and all these non-tangibles, and you go and put logic in there, like, oh, look at that, 1 + 1 = 2, 2 + 2 = 4. People shut down. They think of you as a problem. They think of you as this guy has come to mess with me. He's going to tell me logic, but I know that the logic is flawed, and because he himself is flawed. So I would not try to tell him that this is the way to do it. I would respond with an emotional reaction, saying that we need you. We think you are great. We know that you put us in a level where nobody can beat us. Last year, with you injured, we were this close to getting to the finals, probably winning the whole thing. But without you, we saw a dramatic collapse from there. So you must understand that you are a really good player. That's why you're with us. You, on your best day, can destroy destroy defenses.
But I think Kyrie Irving knows all of this. I think the question I'm trying to get out of you is: are you going to try to, like, what are you going to be someone that's going to be like, all right, whatever games you can play with us, that's great, or you're like, listen, man, If you're going to be like
No, I think the
half in
idea should be that
half in, half out, you rather be full out.
no, that's why I read. Like I'm appealing to his self, saying, I'm appealing to him, saying, you do your research, but know that we want you with us.
Yeah, but do you want him to be half in, half out, or full in?
No,
full
I don't
out?
want it to, because if I tell him and he does his research and he comes back to us, then he'll be full in, none out. But if I tell him that, you know, you
Or
have
he
to
can
do
be
it
full
because, no, I'm sure he'll play in games where he'll play games where there are no, in states where.
But
there
would
is
you
no
want,
mandate.
like, would you want someone to be half in, half out?
But that's not how
I
it
wouldn't
works,
want
right?
it.
Okay.
No, I mean, like, what's the point of having a person come in for 5 games, 6 games when he cannot, like, you know, play for the entire season, or cannot play in some playoff games? Like,
So-
why would I integrate this person
So what would
into
your
my
reaction
lineup?
be if you were in Kevin
That's what
Durant's head?
that's what I'm asking you. You're not answering that question as Kevin
I mean,
Durant.
I
You're
told you
saying
that I want him to play, but I don't think there is any way to get him to play by telling him that, you know, by attacking him for his choice, because that is why he's made that's what the backlash would happen, in my opinion. So I would just tell him, you know, get back.
But
whatever amount of games I can get out of him, that my feeling is whatever amount of games I can get from him is a positive. If he's scheduled to play, let's say 10 games he can play based on his current rule, that I will not play in places where there are vaccine mandates. Well, let's say there's 10 games. If I can get him to play 20 games, I'll consider that a success, because 10 games he's anyway going to play. If I can get that number to 20, 30, 40, that's amazing for me, because 40 games with this guy is probably a plus. And I'm sure that he'll change his opinion. I don't think he's going to stay like that. Of course, if I was Ashwin, the human being, I would be like, bye-bye, Kyrie Irving, you please leave this place. We'll save that money. We'll get someone else. With James Harden healthy and Durant, I don't think they really need Kyrie Irving. I don't think they need that. Even with the healthy Bucks, I really don't think they need Kyrie Irving to go over the edge.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. That's good. That's good. Okay. All right. And do you think that teams should penalize players? You think teams should penalize players? Okay.
Obviously, because I'm coming from a place where my thing is that you are not playing in the bubble where there is no chance of you interacting with other people, getting the disease. Like, these players played in the bubble. They went and played in a place where no one else was allowed, continuous checking every day without vaccine, which just make sure that they were conferred a very special status. They were told that you are special than other people. People around you are dying, but you guys are special. You guys are going to be in a bubble. We need to get TV revenue. So they did all of that for money. They didn't do it for they didn't do it for, you know, let's make the world a better place. They were there. They did all that. They did the BLM movement there also. All of that is great because they used that platform to do something. But that platform came with its own special privilege that they could do something that none of America could do. Play a physical contact game without masks, live in special conditions, get tested daily. None of that was there available for the general.
Sell extremely high priced coffee.
Absolutely. Shout out to Jimmy Butler. Please save me some of that coffee.
Yeah.
So it's not like suddenly, you know, it's not like they are not. I mean, I know Kyrie Irving did participate in that bubble, but still, like, as an organization, as basketball players who have said that pay us money because we are special and we will do these things, for them to take a fringe idea that vaccines don't work and try to make it into a statement is ridiculous. I think every one of those players should be fined. If they don't play game, fine them. If they don't want, there should be penalties for acting like a man-child, for acting like a stubborn man-child who's getting money and who without any knowledge is just spreading propaganda. I had a chat with a very good friend of ours. I mean, I'm not going to name him, but and he told me.
Was it a long chat or was it a short chat?
It was a long chat. And
long chat.
Long chat, matlab, yeah, probably like if you
30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah, easily.
Okay.
And he told me that he's not coming, but I did look at it, but I don't know, man. Maybe I'm too much into the science to what is that word? to think that a fringe idea can become the. And again, like I know you have said the same thing, that just because something is anti what you believe does not mean it's wrong. I agree.
No, I don't think that about the vaccines specifically. But for me, you know what is enjoyable is that this is how I feel when people like Kobe over Duncan. This is how I feel. I'm just trying to tell you. The guy was the best player on 4 championships. The best player. Kobe was not the best player in 2 championships, and still Kobe is considered. Oh, anyway, I'm trying to make light of the whole situation. But you know, you're right. I mean, with science, the problem with science is not 100%, and in any place that you know what is 100%.
Is it Duncan? It's not even. It's Michael Jordan's finals record.
That is also 100%. You know, what I was going to say was this. I mean, you can edit this out, but what is 100% is that the voting count was 100% right.
Yes,
according to certain. Come on. But anyway, yeah. I mean, obviously, this is a very, very serious issue. But I also think that this is survival of the fittest. I think you know.
I completely agree with that. If you are to not get it, and then you know something happens to you, then you have just said that, and I don't want to participate in this world anymore.
Yeah, and you know, and this is what I believe in, is like, you know, every human. I mean, this is the large debate about life and society, is like, what is freedom, and you know, there's a huge debate behind that, which is, it's not a simple like, are vaccines effective or not effective? I don't think that is really the debate. The debate is there, what is freedom? That's where like everything, like people's idea of freedom and people's idea of like, okay, we are allowed to do whatever we want to do, and especially this becomes even more prevalent as you get richer, right? Because you can do whatever you want to do. People around you are
none of the rich people have ever not gotten something that will make them stay alive. Like, I think all the rich people are vaccinated. I think it's just the
I'm just saying, I understand that, but I'm just saying that in general, as you go above.
You're not talking about vaccinations at all. You're just talking about.
No, I'm just talking about in general, freedom. Talking of freedom, right? So like it's, I don't know who I was talking to this about, but I always tell people, is like, you know, when we were poor, I mean, at some point I was poor, you were probably middle class, and I was really poor. And like, if we didn't have, you know, food, it's just like, oh, we don't have food, right? But for a first world person, it's like, oh, if we don't eat, it's like, oh my God, like this is the end of the world. But there are people. So as you get richer, and as the population and the entire world is getting richer and more prosperous in general, obviously there are more poor people and rich people. This idea of freedom is going to be extremely, interesting to watch. And so for me, I always call myself as the Narada. I just like to watch people from afar.
I think the group that we mentioned before will attest to it. They'll be like, yes, like if you think beneath is Narada.
Yeah, I just like to, you know, just poke a little bit. Say, what are you saying, man? What do you think about this?
What I think is that this talk of personal freedom, like, when did you think that you were free? You can't.
You're never free. The idea is you're never free. You're never
free. Especially in modern society. How did you even think that you're free? Like, at no point, everything that you do is marked in some database somewhere. Everything that you do, every card that
it's ridiculous.
Every step that you take, every especially that you make.
Especially if you live in a first world country and in a city, which probably most of the people live, every traffic light has a camera. There are systems where if you break the camera, the traffic light, you get a photo of you breaking the traffic light that comes to your house.
Yeah, exactly.
With a fine associated to it.
Absolutely.
You know, so like this idea of freedom is bullshit.
But I feel that, I mean, you can't live in a society without there being some restrictions to your freedom. Like, you can't be allowed to do anything. That's why we have certain rules / laws in the nation to make sure society progresses smoothly. You can't have.
Yes.
I mean, yes. If I try to rob you, are you like, which personal freedom is more important? Your freedom to not be robbed, or my freedom to do what I want? So we have established certain rules, right? Like, So I think the easiest thing to do is invoke personal freedom and then tell people that, they are infringing upon your personal freedom. I think if you don't fight, I'm going to be safe. You decide whether you want to fight or not. I'm like, oh shit. It's just fear mongering. I don't quite like it. And like Andrew Wiggins and all should just shut up, and whatever money he's getting in basketball, he should just take that money and enjoy life. That guy is one.
Even Jonathan Isaac. I don't know why. I don't know why these people have such strong. I mean, like, I understand Kyrie and Bradley because they're going to get paid anyways, or they got paid anyways. Like, they don't really care.
Yeah, he's
like Jonathan. And Jonathan Isaac is like this. He goes and preaches in churches and stuff. So he is already like, just because he's eloquent doesn't make him right. You have to understand this. Like just because I'm going to use a person that I think is really eloquent but is almost always wrong is Obama. Right? I'm not against Obama. I think was a great president, and same with Modi. These people are extremely eloquent. They are extremely good at saying things. And like things, but doesn't mean anything. It's just words. Like it's just
I really thought for a second again that you're going to bring up Kobe. I was like just waiting for that moment.
Kobe's not very eloquent. I don't think Kobe's very eloquent.
But he's very smart though.
He's very smart. He's very smart. I mean, I think of all the marketing, I mean, I don't think there's anybody even close to him in it. Even like LeBron tries, but LeBron's like marketing is so like lame. He's just trying,
I'm gonna take my talents to South Beach. Hey, boo! Why don't you just go and say it separately?
It's just I mean. It's because he's not that. I don't think LeBron. People think LeBron is really obsessed about,
chasing MJ.
I don't think he's obsessed. I mean, he has a target. He's going to do it. He's talented enough. He doesn't have to like create. He creates narratives because it makes him money, but it's not like he's obsessed about creating the narrative as much as Kobe was, right? I think. Anyway, let's move on to this. I think vaccination is. Just the start. I think there's going to be so many things that are going to come up. I saw this initially with Twitter, right? Like, I mean, all the SGWs.
Oh, whoa,
certain
wow.
people.
Okay. I have not.
But you have stopped in a while. But yeah. But I used to always wonder, oh my God, and I want to do it. I really want to do it because I feel like, I mean, I'm a huge proponent of climate change. I really want to work on climate change. I want to do something. And I know that the world is not going to end in 15 years like the way people say. That's just not going to happen, right? But if you don't say that, then the people that think that are not going to follow you, right? And so it's like I'm stuck in middle. It's like, do I become Kobe and I say yes, world is going to end in 15 days, or I go the complete opposite. So like I am trying to find my voice in that discussion because I feel like there is so much polarization. You're either anti-vaccine or you're pro-vaccine, and you're either anti-freedom, or like there's no place for nuance, and there's no place for
no, because people feel like that's what I was talking about, right? Like people don't think that you're critiquing the idea. They consider the idea as part of their identity. So when I say, how can you be so stupid as to not think the vaccine is good? They're not thinking that I'm attacking even my words also, but it becomes like I am attacking your intellect, and you are like, oh, how dare you attack my intellect? Let me show you some proof about this from my echo chamber. And then I'm like, oh, but what about things from my echo chamber? And my solace is that my echo chamber is built by lots of people's ideas, but in their head, they're like, it's a lot of bad ideas. It's just like echo chamber was echo chamber. None of them is going to win, because at the end of the day, you are attacking that person, and no person is ever going to say. It's very difficult for people to say I was wrong. It's very difficult for anybody to say that that I looked at this side and this side and the middle side, and I came to a conclusion.
Like I've tried to change your mind about Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant for 5 years. It hasn't changed anything. I've given you stats. It's right here. It's like logic.
You could have just
logic.
You could have just said Westbrook, and then you would have been fine.
No, because see, Westbrook. I think Westbrook faults are too obvious. Like it's just too obvious because he hasn't had success. Yeah. With Kobe, the problem is he has had success, and so his faults are like hidden
beneath
under that whole success chart. So it's like you have to go like 50 steps below that success to actually hit the flaws. But then people always throw you, 81 points. 81 points. 60 points in the final game. Like they'll just throw you all these like success metrics. It's like the way people throw the triple double metric of Russell Westbrook, right? Like it's just like, all right, I get it. That's why he's even in the conversation. Like if he wasn't that successful, he wouldn't be in the conversation. So the reason we're having this conversation is because they've both been extremely successful. So we can now, but let's just.
I think it was amazing how we took this political statement and still made it into basketball. Like, this is how it happened. So I think that's why we are India's #1 basketball podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it is the same. It is the same people. I mean, that's what I've realized. Is like there are certain group of people that are attracted to a certain idea. A certain group of people that like you said, right? I'm attracted to the idea of like not wearing good clothes and the humble
performer.
Yes, and it's true. I am attracted to that idea. But I also see Shaq and I'm like, come on, Shaq, like you can't take away anything from him. Like as much as I want
to put, nothing is 100% winning. Like even you
as much as I want to put Kareem as the best center, like I cannot deny the fact that Shaq at his peak would take anybody to like the town. Like it's ridiculous. You saw that photo I put of him and Big Show. I always saw in my mind Big Show was like, at least the young kid Vinith was like, Big Show was he was massive. Like he was big. He's called the Big Show for a reason. And then he's standing next to Shaq, and just Shaq is almost bigger than him. And you're just like, oh my God, this guy played basketball, and you had to guard him on a daily basis. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, Dikembe Mutombo. I feel bad for you. You tried.
No, in that 2001 finals also, when you see like Shaq is and Dikembe Mutombo is not he's tall.
Small guy. Yeah, he's tall.
He's tall, but he is not big. Like he can't move you off your feet. Like he's just wiry. He's tall and 7'2" and with 7'6" wingspan. Just put your hands up. That's his thing.
Yeah.
Shaq is just like lifting him off the field, and he's like
taking him with him to it was ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
But yes, so even with your the gravitas towards humbleness, you don't like the braggadocious players except Shaq. Shaq and AI probably are the only two players that you really enjoyed watching.
Both of the braggadocious places, huh? I think Michael Jordan. But Michael Jordan, every time I watched any of the older Michael Jordan like interviews, I never felt he was a bragger. He was intense. He wanted to win.
Yeah,
and that's fine. He just let the winning do his talking, but I don't think he was like a bragger. I mean, I think for me the biggest like bragger who was also humble was Larry Bird. Larry Bird will tell you what to do, plus he was humble, plus he was a team player. Like he was everything. Like he would tell you, okay, like you can see in some of his interviews, he's very, which is again why I put Magic Johnson above, because I don't like Magic Johnson's whole persona. But Larry Bird himself, like in one of his interviews, he just said, you're looking at the best player playing in the NBA. So for Larry Bird, for Isaiah Thomas, two people that I really like feel, were deserving to be above Magic, but Magic gets that nod from them, then there's nothing much I can say, Like
but I think Magic Johnson has been part of more threesomes than Larry Bird. So I think automatically by that, I saw this interview where maybe this will get cut, but no, whatever. I saw this interview where he's sitting with I don't know who it was, some Lakers guy back when he was playing, like in that playing, and he's like, I have taken 6-7 women to bed together, and they will and he's like, I've always wanted to fulfill all my fantasies. So, and then the talk goes into this direction of how many women he's bedded at the same time, and he's like 6 to 7, and the interviewer is like, was it their fantasy or yours? And he's like, some of it was my fantasy, some of it was their fantasy. After a while, you don't even know. And the rumors of him having like a Wilt Chamberlain sort of body count, which is what led eventually to the HIV
the AIDS thing.
Did he have AIDS? No, he didn't have AIDS. He had the HIV.
Okay. I thought he had AIDS.
No, he didn't get AIDS. It's if memory serves me correctly. Like,
okay, so the strain. Okay.
Yeah, the virus he got, but it didn't convert into AIDS. I mean, money usually stops viruses also.
Stops viruses, yeah.
And so the stories are ridiculous. I mean, imagine the best player, at least according to people, with a name like Magic Johnson, and in LA.
Lakers. The style he played. I mean, the style he played Wow.
Yeah,
Like
right.
just
Like
really.
and it's not like he wasn't winning. So he was a
He
champion
was
plus this,
everything,
that.
everything. He had everything.
Yeah, I think. But yeah, I mean, I've heard Swadesh also being pretty like braggy. I think I don't know. I mean, I've never been like so good that I can brag about anything. But Vineet,
You
have you
can
ever
brag
bragged about anything?
about Ball is Bay podcast.
I don't brag about it. I humbly tell people that yes, we've been doing this for 5 years. And I never understood how I could brag about it. Maybe someday we'll brag.
I mean, within the podcast sphere of basketball in India, I mean,
Yes, that
it's all
that.
about, we are niching down. That's what we are doing. That's what all the business
Yeah,
books say. You got to niche down.
that's the term, right? Niche down. Like figure
You're
out
the
niche,
business. You're the MBA student.
like put filters and then be like, yes, we are the number one in this segment, particular segment.
Well, I mean, the thing that I'm really proud about Ball is Bay is like, for
No,
a
I think
long
there's a
time,
difference between
we were
being
also
proud. There's a difference between being proud and being braggy. I think I am
I
proud
think
of
I-
Wallace Bay. I've never bragged about it though.
okay, fair enough. Okay.
But I am proud of. I mean, it's not easy doing anything for 5 years in a row, especially when you have no history of doing anything for 5 years in a row,
And you're not getting paid. I mean,
and you're not getting paid.
That is the important part.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
It's something to be proud of. Definitely, I don't think there's any denying that.
Yes. And we have crossed 500 followers also, so which is great. And we have stayed there, which is good. Didn't fall back. 1,000 this season, 1,000. 100%.
Absolutely. Now that the league pass has increased its price, also we'll have to be a little more worried about the final, like giving people the playoff access. I think we can still do it. It's not that much also. It's like 200 rupees.
How much is it? 1,500 per year?
It's 1,499 per year for the year package, and for the monthly package, it's now 199. I thought they would make it 149 because 99 became 999. So I thought 1,499 would become 149.
Is it one? Okay.
1,499.
I don't know. I think 1,500 is reasonable.
It is reasonable. Absolutely. It is the cheapest way that you can watch all the games, but 999.
No one watches all the games. Yeah, that's the thing.
But at least we have the option to watch the games. I think we
I
can
mean,
watch
we
two
can- we
games
can-
at once. I think you can watch 2 games at once also. So, I mean, we're not watching Sacramento Kings versus Charlotte Hornets. So.
Even though I want to watch this Tyrese Halliburton. I want to watch some games of this guy because I think he's gonna be good. I mean, whatever I've seen of the
There's a whole new rookie class also out with this Jalen Suggs, and I heard somewhere
that Houston Rockets team is supposed to be like
supposed to be really good. Absolutely. How do you know that?
Just the highlights, man. I've seen some highlights of what's his name, Jalen Green.
Jalen Green and that other rookie. They have 2 rookies, I think. Good.
Justin something.
I think so.
So the Jalen Green guy was a part of the same team as Principal Singh. So I'd watched some games of their Ignite team, yeah. So I'd watched some Ignite 9 or whatever their name is. Ignite, and he was like really good, fast, quick, thin, shooting, drive to the basket. Like, but then I always thought, okay, he's playing against G League, so. But he was the best player by far the best player.
He's also G League.
Yeah, that's the thing. But so I think that would be interesting because he was the first Ignite player that G League player that was in the top. Whatever first round draft pick and all that stuff. So
yeah, I've heard only good things about this Jalen Green. There's another Kuminga. I don't know who it was. No, not Kuminga.
Kuminga is
Warriors.
Warriors, yeah.
No. On the Rockets itself, there's this green guy and there's one more guy and 2. So there's this guy named Sengun.
Oh, Sengun is also nice.
Sengun, and this is supposed to be
some other guy is also there. He's really good.
I mean, for Rockets, it's Jeshaun Tate, Sengun, and this guy. Jalen Green.
Jalen Green, okay.
Nice players. Kevin Porter Jr. also.
Kevin Porter Jr. is also really good, yeah.
It'll be fun.
So you say Rockets are going to be fun. Would you say that? I mean, let's take away your Kobe affiliation, but do you think that Harden? No, seriously. Like I was thinking about this when I was putting. I don't know why I was thinking about this, but I was thinking like, how good of a shooting guard is Harden? Like, if you're looking at shooting guards, right? Just pure, I get your bucket kind of shooting guard with everything. I mean,
Harden is as good as there is.
or would
I
you
don't.
put him
Would I-
above Kobe?
As a pure scorer, no. But as a more complete player, I think probably Harden is more complete. Like he'll
Okay,
kill
so
you in
explain to.
isolation, but he's also very good at running the offense. That's what I think.
Okay, so
Like,
now
he
that you have
ran the
used this word, that triggers me. It's a trigger word for me in my safe space. Pure scorer. I want you to explain to me what pure scorer
When pure
means.
scorer is, see, what happens is your pure scoring ability comes in when teams have really scouted you. They know exactly what you're going to do.
Okay.
Your team is not getting a bucket
Yes.
because there is no movement of the ball happening, or whether the movement is happening, sometimes even if you move the ball, there's nothing happening. Like the offense has completely, you've not scored for the past 2-3 minutes. You need someone to score. And again, like, all we are saying is who has the most chance. I think Harden allows you to, like not cheat from your defender and come to him, because he's not like one-minded like Kobe. If I get the ball, I'm gonna score. Usually with a playmaker, it's sort of like, if I get the ball, that means I have to get the team to score. I have to enable the best shot that can happen from that position on the court. With Kobe, it's always that I have to score. In a crunch situation or in a place where you need a bucket, he trusts himself because he is the king of one-on-one. I don't think anybody is better.
But why do you think he gave the ball to Ron Artest?
There was nothing he could have done. Like that was
you literally created a scenario where nothing could be done and he would still score. But he's most successful and most like that got him a championship was that pass to Ron Artest.
I think that game he was having a horrible game throughout the game. I think his shot was 6 of 24. It would have been 6 of 25. See, sometimes even the worst decision makers make a good decision. Even a broken clock is right 2 times a day. That doesn't mean it's not broken.
Yes, you're right.
The moment he passed the ball, there was nothing he could have done. He couldn't have jumped up, elevated. I'm sure he was tired as hell. 24 shots he took.
So then he's not a pure scorer then.
No, see, you can't take one incident and be like this defines what he is.
You're saying most. Okay.
Pure scorer. I have seen Kobe score from positions where it is impossible. Like there's a hand in his.
It looks, okay. Fully defended, 5 people on him. He'll take the shot. Yeah.
He'll take the shot. He'll make the shot. A lot of shots he's not made, but I'm just saying that the mentality is always that the team.
So it's the mentality. It is not necessarily the skill of scoring. No, it's the mentality of scoring.
I think he's extremely skilled, which is what gave him that mentality. If he was not so skilled, if he was not waking up at 4 a.m. doing the work, if he did not arm himself to do what he has to do in the game, I don't think he could have the mentality to shoot that. See, a very simple example is.
But then he shot those shots even when he was a rookie.
No, so
against Utah.
So
I don't think.
Let me. Like Steph Curry, the reason he creates, like he scores, but the reason he's a terror is because you can't let him come to the half court, aram se, and then start defending him. You are literally you're literally paddling backwards the moment he gets the ball. Immediately, because he has shown you that he can score from anywhere. There is no point at the floor where you're like, okay, it's Steph Curry, let him do what he wants.
Yeah, you can't.
So already the defense is trained. And that is a very important point for a scorer. That the defense,
you don't think that's not true for Harden?
No, it is true for Harden, but I'm saying that Harden is very okay with, giving the ball away, because you can't stop Harden also. See, it's not like I'm saying that you can't stop Kobe, but you can stop Harden. But I'm saying that if you
wait. You got to make a clear point. I mean, I'm saying this because I think we both are going around in circles, right? So pure scorer. Okay, pure scorer. What does pure scorer mean?
Pure
Now,
scorer means, yes.
You're saying it's not a mentality. It's a mentality with skill set. Correct. I think it's only mentality. I don't think it has anything to do with the skill set. Because let me finish.
Anybody can jack up shots. You're not respected
right.
if you jack up shots.
Right. Yes. You have to have, yes. And Kobe did make that many shots. He actually missed a lot of shots.
Most people miss more.
So it is a mentality. Yeah. So it's a mentality.
No. Again, Kobe missed a lot of shots because he took a lot of bad shots, a lot of tough shots. All of that is fine. The mentality point where you're coming from, I'm saying that the reason Kobe took many shots is because he trusted himself. If it was a one-on-one game, if it was one-on-one, that nobody could stop him. He trusted that. That's the mentality part. But the reason he trusted himself to take those shots is because he knew that he had worked hard to, at any point of the game, get to that position, rise up, hit a shot, because he has 1,000 reps of that shot done before.
Correct. Okay, agreed. So you're saying that the mentality is coming from the hard work, not necessarily just the mentality. He's like, I've put in so much work, so if I take this shot, there's a high probability of it going.
There is an evolution of the mentality. The first mentality is, when Kobe is a rookie, in my head, that mentality is that I am not scared to take a shot, because I don't want to be the person who is scared to take a shot.
But don't you think that should have reflected either in his increased field goal percentage and some, when you're looking at a large amount of data, as you're a math and a science guy, it should have reflected in an overall increase of his field goal percentage.
I don't think that just because he has a mentality, like, people are going to be like, oh, he has a mentality, let me.
No, what I'm saying is,
now what people are going to do is, people are going to know that they're going to use that against him, right? They're going to make sure that he takes those shots, because they are like,
correct.
It's a tough shot. If he makes it, we'll be like, okay, we got beaten by a good shot. I mean, in basketball, there's nothing which is,
yes,
proper. Only a layup is probably like the closest to a easy thing that you can get.
Well, Steph Curry's 3-point shot is pretty accurate.
Pretty cool.
That's pretty. I mean, you don't want that guy to. Dude, the guy jacked up 600 shots in a season, no? Or 300 shots, 400 shots in a season.
He made 400 shots.
He made 400 shots. That's ridiculous. That's like five. That's 5 3-pointers a game.
Almost 5. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
So, but he's not a pure. But he's not a pure scorer. Is he a pure scorer?
No, I think he's a great shooter.
He's not a pure. He's a great shooter. Okay, he's not a pure scorer. Okay.
I don't think it's
okay.
Why do you think he's a pure scorer?
I'm just saying, by your logic, he's a pure scorer. He has put in the work. He has the mentality. Literally, every team has scouted him like a bitch. And he's small. He can't jump. He's not as physically gifted as Kobe is. Yet he gets a high, but people don't think he's a pure scorer.
But pure scorer also is a little bit of a insult that way, that your aim is to score. Steph's aim is not to score. The reason he can score is because he is very good. But Steph is always looking to confuse the defense so that his magnetism.
I love this podcast. This is my favorite episode because
snippets are gonna kill me.
Because you started with this whole like people don't change with logic. This is and then the evolution of the discussion.
But I told you the same thing, that again, right? Okay, what is your definition of a pure scorer?
I don't think there's anything called a pure scorer.
You don't.
I just think
there's anything called pure scorer.
No, I think that scoring is scoring. It's like
scoring is scoring. Absolutely.
Scoring is scoring. What is interesting about Kobe is his ability to have counter moves, right? And that happened very late in his career, right? I would say like post 2007 is where his counter moves went to a completely different level, which is, if he had a certain move, he would do a move. If he got blocked, he would do another. Like he would have 4 or 5 counter moves that were not athletic, that were not about just jumping and dunking. It was like spin moves and positioning. And if you look at all these like so-called Kobe highlights, they're all later in his career where he was slower. He knew exactly what to do. So that was the one thing about Kobe that I think was much more like well-defined. That you can attribute to hours and hours of practice. It's like Kobe's final moves were like Hakeem's moves when Hakeem just started.
Hakeem would coached him after I think 2008.
Yeah. So that's my point. That's where he learned. That's what I'm trying to say. Is like Hakeem's like people say pure scorer, like or talent or whatever that is. Like no one had footwork like Hakeem. Nobody had footwork like Hakeem. And if you see Hakeem's highlights, you're just like, how is he doing the same move and still getting away with it again and again and again? And that is pure like understanding of it's like Karl Malone's understanding of a pick and roll. That is skill. I don't necessarily call it this. That's where Kobe was, I think, in the last 5 years, 6 years of his career, where he just had that skill where he knew, how to turn, how to, do whatever he has to do. Same with Steph, right? Like with Steph and with Harden also, like people were guarding Harden from the back and he would still drop 40 on them, right? So I think we can watch Harden do the step back 3 again and again and again and again, and he will still drop 40 on it. So that is just skill. I don't think there's anything called like a pure scorer. I think it is a term a lot of fans and media have come up with to differentiate skill and ability to score with a certain kind of mentality, which is embodied by guys like Carmelo, who will take bad shots, Kobe, all of these people, they take bad shots. It's a bad shot. Don't take a bad.
What you're saying. You're saying that the same way Kobe practiced on his moves, Steph has also practiced his moves, but Steph doesn't callously shoot shots which he's not very comfortable with just because he has practiced that shot.
Yeah, because according to his skill and his practice, he knows he's not going to get that shot. So for me, skill and IQ all go together. Like Russell Westbrook is a phenomenal player. There is no doubt about it. But I would not in the last 2 minutes of the game, he is not touching the basketball. You go get your 10 rebounds and give the ball to Kevin Durant. That's all your job is. If I was the coach, that's what I would say. Like, listen, don't touch the ball. Just no, don't do your one dribble, get into the paint. There was a shooting chart, which I think was shared. The most, which is the worst place to take a shot?
Worst place
as in like not analytically, but like if you had to take a not a bad shot, but like effort and
productive shot.
Least productive shot.
I think foot on the line.
Right inside the 3-point, like on the edge of the 2-point range. Is the I guess who had taken the most amount of shots in the region.
But I guess it is Russell Westbrook.
It is Russell Westbrook. I didn't want to like share it with you because I feel like that's just a little too much. But I was just, and this is not something I've come up with. Like you can
see. But there is no way that he takes a shot from there. I know what the Russell Westbrook staple shot is. The one right beside the free throw line. Right beside the free throw line.
I'm telling you this is the stats crunched by that guy.
We will verify this.
Oh, it's right here. I will verify it right now with you. Why wait?
Share that.
What's that guy's name, man? I really like him.
Kirk Goldsberry.
Kirk Goldsberry. Yes.
Kirk Goldsberry, please save me.
I can't see it. But
unblur. But this is leading scorers.
Yeah. But that means he took the most shots there, right? That's my point.
He just made the most shots there. 19 to 20.
Yeah, because no one else takes shots from there. That's the point.
But that's what I said. This is not the one. This is not the worst shot. The worst shot is the Mikal Bridges shot. Mikal Bridges, Danny Green.
I'm just saying that reason. I'm not saying like.
I know. The Russell Westbrook staple shot is that 45 degrees he'll come and he'll just.
He just do that and clunk, clunk. Yeah.
Not clunk, clunk, clunk. Okay, it goes in more than it doesn't. It's just that he should not. That's his only shot. That's the only mid-range shot that he can take. He can't.
I also take that shot.
Even I take that shot because that's
Yeah.
comfort zone for me. It's like
Comfort
almost
zone,
free
yeah.
throws in, and it's
Even though I know like my percentage is low on it, like when you come off the curve and you're too lazy to you're too lazy to drive in. Yeah. And then
it's
you
just a rhythm shot. That's it. There's nothing more to it. Why did we have this conversation?
Why we were having this conversation is because we were discussing pure scorers and shooting abilities and the IQ to take a good shot or a bad shot.
I think pure scorer, that term is a very current media sort of thing, but I don't know. I think probably Kobe practiced more difficult shots just so that he could make it because he trusted them to make it. I don't think Steph practices 1 foot off and like all these difficult shots.
You remember you talked about how people find different stats within their own echo chambers and bring just reminding of that.
I'm just saying that I think Steph is smart enough to know that he doesn't have to take one-legged fade away.
Also he played again with Klay Thompson. So I mean, I don't necessarily if your outlet pass is Klay Thompson or Kevin Durant, like you can happily.
No, let's not bring this Kevin Durant thing. Like I think Steph Curry was a made man before Kevin Durant came there.
No, I don't think anybody thinks that Steph. I mean, a lot of LeBron fans will bring this up that Steph needed KD to win the championship.
It's not true.
Right.
It's absolutely not true. He almost won. He almost won the second one also. Like they were 3-1.
Almost. Almost one is the same as not winning.
No, but it's not like they were like gulfs apart. They were almost there. They were 75% of the way there, and then the things just changed.
Yeah. Fair enough. No, I mean, I will always put, unless KD does something miraculous at Brooklyn, let's say James Harden gets injured for whatever reason, and KD takes them to the finals, or even like a decent finals, because if KD alone against the fully stacked Lakers would not work. But this is why I was mad at Bill Simmons for putting KD in the top 10, is because like, man, he didn't do shit. He took one team to the conference semifinals and lost.
He took him
right?
Finals.
No, conference semifinals.
Oh, you mean without anyone else?
Yeah, without anyone, right? And he lost. Like, I mean, there are people who have done far higher than him. Like
Isaiah
Dirk took the team to the finals and lost and won and also lost. But that loss is also won. And he's taken them to the semifinals in the Western Conference so many times and almost beat the Spurs. This guy got beaten by the Giannis Antetokounmpo led. I mean, just like people are like, just I don't know. Sometimes I was very mad at Bill Simmons because he is generally a very
I mean, I remember you talking about this also, so I don't know which episode, but it is unfair. It is not fair.
Top 10
any
impossible.
Of the top 10, to any of the top 10 people. Because
KD needs to have. I mean, I think that window is gone because he's older. He's more injured. I don't think there is going to be a window where he is going to be like his peak is gone. Like his peak is over. He's kind of in the last section of his peak.
I mean, now I don't think he can rely that much on his, like athleticism to get those pockets. Like he'll have to either get into the post and become
sometimes
Kobe
but
that way.
Sometimes some people improve with constraints. I think Dirk improved because of he couldn't drive anymore. Before, when he was younger, he would drive. He would put the ball on the floor and drive in. But once that was not an option, then he said, okay, the only thing I can do is my step back shot, or I go to the 3 points. So like constraints are sometimes good. Like Kobe realized he's not fast. He lost his first step. Same with LeBron. He lost his first step. He said, okay, I'm going to shoot 3-pointers. So constraints are good sometimes. So I think we'll see how
it'll be interesting. That's what I mean, it might be interesting to see how he navigates those things. Also, like he's coming off an Achilles, so that athleticism is definitely going to be a little.
Yeah.
Did you see Kawhi is now started little training and all after his ACL?
Yeah, I saw that.
They're saying he's
new haircut and all this stuff.
On track, not going to start the season, I think, but he's on track to come somewhere. in between.
I'm bullish on the Clippers, man. They have a good team. If Kawhi is healthy, they are a good match for the Lakers. But yeah, it's, fucking the problem is Anthony Davis, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only
You
problem.
just have to hope that Anthony Davis brings his Anthony Davis form. And he's like, injury. That's the only thing.
He's the key. I mean, he's the
Trump
X
card.
factor. He's the X factor.
Uh,
Yeah, like he's the X factor because the only other player that can like really match him is like Giannis.
Giannis.
You know, like at that point, but otherwise, there's no one really like even defensively that can. Defense and offense kind of no one can even come close, and I don't think who does the Clippers have? Serge Ibaka?
Serge Ibaka, who's not playing that.
Who's gone?
No? Zubac
Zubac.
is there. Zubac is there, but again, I don't think he's going to stop AD. I mean, he could try. He's tall enough to at least disturb him.
Yeah. Okay. This is. I'll ask you this one last question. Okay. So this is. I don't know why I was reading about this, but someone had written about how super teams actually drive more fan following and engagement and like not super teams, but like when you have an overpowering force, like parity is bad for
popularity of
the league. Popularity of the league. What do you think about that?
I think that
because they have noticed that like every time there is like one dominating team,
I think that makes a lot of sense because most NBA fans are casual fans. I mean, there is a strict group of people who are like, yes, this. But I think a majority of the fans are just like, we just want to support some team who wins. And because we don't want to support a team who's losing.
Going to lose. Yeah.
Who's going to lose. Like, if we watch a game, if we are spending time to watch a game, we want that team to win. I would assume that it's much more easier to predict that one team is going to win if one team is like really that much better. That's why I think the Warriors got that amazing wave of fans all across the world when you had Steph Curry being MVP and the Warriors just winning everything. I mean, like everything in sight. No, also Golden State is a place where a lot of probably the South Asian immigrants are. But regardless of that, one team just doing everything that they had to do. A lot of fans became Nets fans when they saw that this team has a really good chance of winning. I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know. I mean, if the research says it, then of course.
So my follow-up question to that is then like, do you think that the NBA is actually, because a lot of people talk about this thing that where Chris Paul was denied to join the Lakers during the Kobe Bryant thing, but despite those being the rumors, Jeannie Buss has come out and publicly and said that it was not the case. It's not like David Stern wanted to stop it.
I thought David Stern vetoed the trade.
He vetoed the trade, but not because he didn't want Chris Paul to go to Lakers. But what happened was that they announced the trade while there was some moment, something like that. And because of that, David Stern had to take like an executive decision because then it would just feel like, you're just letting the Lakers do what it's, And that's what Jeannie Buss was. She said, like, this is just some media thing people have created. It's not like David Stern came and told us, we're not going to do it. It was our mistake where it got leaked that this is already in the papers and it's already signed, which is true. But they were all in some, there's, I think in the All Is Up podcast, All Up in Smoke podcast, she talks about it. You can go watch it and also all our listeners. But anyway, that was the thing. But my point is that do you think that then the NBA is actually more incentivized to create super teams and like rather than create parity? Because the more super teams, the more fans, the more money. So do you think that?
But I don't think they would do it publicly. Like I'm sure they would want to do it discreetly. But if the research says that the less parity there is more, I think they would just find ways to like incentivize. Okay, you guys create something, like maybe ignore the rules in some phases or not enforce it as clearly or may introduce some loopholes by design. I don't think it's beyond the
realm of possibility.
What organization in America doesn't want to increase stakeholder value?
Okay, that's fair.
Do you think that's a ridiculous thing to think?
I don't think it's a ridiculous thing to think, but I think that there is this notion that um, the NBA's job is to make sure that there is parity, and I don't think that's necessarily the NBA's job.
I don't think that's the
Like,
NBA job. That's what we expect as fans.
I mean, NBA,
that we want to
NBA
watch something which is
yeah.
not determined. Like
Right.
the percentages are still closer to 50-50. Most of the times
Yeah.
it may not be, but at least when we watch it, we should be like, any team could win today, or the thing is not decided beforehand. That's why the whole Golden State thing puts us off, right? Because they're like, this is just ridiculous. So how can
Yeah, but I think
allow this?
the reason why I was thinking that was because the only thing that NBA can do is, if you're a winning team, you don't get lottery, and if you are a losing team, you get the lottery, and that's that they have already enforced it. Like, there's really nothing much they can do. So I think it's up to the players where they want to decide whether they want to, like they want to be like Damian Lillard or Dirk or whoever it is, and say, okay, we want to. This is what we want to do, or be like LeBron or KD that said, okay, we want to win. And
but again, like that's the thing. Right? I think again, what conflict happens is, are we letting players decide the future of the league, or are we letting teams decide the future of the league? Or in today's case, are we letting agents decide the future of the league? Who should decide the future of the league? What do you think about that? Like, because all of them are stakeholders in this, and all of them have their own vested interests as well. But certain of those things doesn't seem fair. It doesn't seem fair for an agent to control how teams are built, or be like, like my star will play with my other stars. Like, AD plays with LeBron, or them trying to get Ben Simmons to the Lakers, which is it just doesn't seem fair, right? Because you could argue for match fixing also in certain ways that, oh yes, we have the power of information and we can do what we want, so we will do it. Just because you can do something doesn't mean that it should be done. And any sports league sort of, at least in the ethical sense, survives on the fact that there is even keel competition.
There is competition, yeah.
There is some sort of, that's what we are vying for, right? It's not like if you put a start team, two all-star teams and just ask them to play, it's not going to be that interesting. Or maybe it might be, but I don't know. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the future of any sport is digital. I think that this whole human playing against human is going to die very soon. Games, esports have already taken over. It's because more people can play it. You don't have to be 6'8", have a wingspan of 7. Like, you don't need any of that stuff, which honestly very few people have. You can just be like a fat guy sitting in remote Iowa, and I'm just saying, and be like the best. And I don't know, I just made it up. Like the best NBA 2K player in the world, and make a shitload of money. So I think the future of sports is esports. And now let's talk about the new launch of Ball is Bay esports segment.
Very good, Vinith. Absolutely. Boys and girls, Ball is Bay. Hashtag Ball is Bay is what we're going to be doing from the year 2025 onwards, because we foresee that all sports will cease to exist by that time.
Yeah, I mean, people like, because I think it also I feel esports is the future. What else can I say? I think. There you go.
Anyway, all right.
See, when I ask the questions, how much fun the podcast can be. Just saying.
I can't believe that's the segue.
No, but I think that, I mean, you can cut all of this part, but like, I was looking at the snippets and I just felt like, oh man, like, I should have
always me talking.
But I mean, I think it's also like,
I'm the one who asks the questions. I'm the one who prepares.
Yeah,
so I'm the one.
You don't. I mean, there's nothing to prepare on all of this stuff. Yeah, so don't give yourself that much credit. Also prepare.
I'm setting the tone. Mama mentality. I prepare. I wake up at 4 a.m. and prepare the questions.
It only works if you like actually really win. Like, I mean, honestly, none of this would have worked if Kobe would not have won his first 3 championships with Shaq. Like.
Absolutely. And that's why we will raise a toast to confirmation bias, and we will end this episode. So, guys, please like, share, subscribe, do all the jazz. and we will catch you for the next episode. Next episode is still not the start of the season, so give us a little time. I think by the next episode, we will definitely be in the start of the season. So all right, till then, take care, and we need to say bye-bye.
Bye bye.